For the fourth year in a row, Glacier National Park has implemented a vehicle reservation system for the summer months. We're breaking down everything you need to know to plan your trip, where you can enter, when, and what you need, all those details coming up on this episode of We're No Damn Experts.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You wanna get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you wanna go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth.
And we're No Damn Experts. Happy after the holiday season.
Yeah, it's the weird week where you don't know what day it is, what year it is, what time it is, what you're supposed to be doing with your life.
You're just full of cheese.
You're full of cheese. I'm still eating off my Christmas cake, which I have to tell our listeners, you made some amazing homemade candy and goodies.
I did.
This plate was so impressive, and I'm still eating off of it, by the way.
Good.
Like, I brought some of the cookie dough ball things with me today that I had after my lunch.
Yeah, I went home last night, thought I had caramels left over. I do not.
Yeah.
And people, this is a sneak behind the curtain here with one of your hosts here.
Yeah.
When I make goodies, people are like, "Oh, you didn't make these." Like people
never
who
believe
know
you.
me, they're like, "No, there's no possible way you made this." Like, you aren't the type of chick that goes home and makes goodies. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. When it comes to Christmas,
This time.
I have a repertoire that
You
is
do.
fairly extensive when it comes to goodies. So I'm glad you're enjoying
I
them.
think that was all of our reaction. We're like, oh my gosh, are all of these homemade? Well, because it was not just like one thing either. Like you
No.
have homemade caramels in there. Like
Yeah.
that's not an easy, with like wrapped and everything.
Yeah.
That's why we look at it and we're like, oh my gosh, did you do all of this? There's no way.
Yeah, every person's like I gave them one time to a friend and they're like, "You did not make these," and it's a friend that I'm not particularly nice to, and I'm like, I made these. She goes,
No.
"There's no possible way you actually spent time in a kitchen." I'm like, why does everybody assume I have no culinary abilities
You do
at
though.
all?
Yeah.
I'm a domestic goddess when I'm
You
at home.
are. Well, especially now. So we always joke because you love TikTok recipes.
Recipes, yes.
Love that. And Callie Jean, our sales director, gave you
I know. I'm so excited.
TikTok recipe book. It's just
I
perfect.
get to go through that. But yeah, I love doing that around the holidays, just
Yeah.
putting all my fun into the kitchen and coming up with these great treats for everyone to enjoy.
Well, they're delicious, and I'm still eating on them until the
Good.
clock strikes 2024. Then we'll do a reset.
Then they're
So I'm just
going
stuffing
in the
it
dump.
into. No, they'll be finished by then.
Good job.
Spike the blood sugar. It's
Oh.
fine.
So yeah, we're in the weird week,
We are.
and everyone's preparing for 2024, which you should be.
Right.
And Great Falls should be on your list for vacations.
Absolutely.
I'm working on a blog to tell you why it's so amazing to
I'm
come
working
here.
on our Adventure Awaits email that tells you
Ooh.
the top 4 reasons to visit Great Falls in 2024.
Ooh,
So
well, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that, folks.
yeah, and your blog too.
What
TBD.
else is going to be on the calendar for things to do in the area in 2024?
So here in Great Falls, obviously we have so many fantastic, awesome things to do in town, but we are also a gateway, if you will, to Glacier National Park. And they are now in their 4th year of a specific vehicle reservation system.
And they're still calling this a pilot.
They are, which is confusing because I'm like, pilot's like 1, maybe 2 years in. We're 4 years in now. It's just an evolving system.
But I think what's nice that they keep calling it a pilot is that you aren't
It makes
surprised when it changes from year to year.
This is true. It gives you hope that maybe it's not going to be there next year, which I don't think is ever going to be true now.
No, that's true. I think it'll always be there.
Yeah.
It'll just be a different system.
Yeah, it's an ever evolving system. This year, so they had a public comment period for about a month and a half or so. They got 1,400 responses from that, which helped to shape what the changes they made and what the reservation system is now.
You know, that doesn't seem like a lot of responses when you look at
Given the
how many
number of
people.
Right. And a good chunk of those, I want to say about half, were from Montanans.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, a common thing on there for our Montanans listening was that, hey, I live in Montana. I want like a free pass in, basically. I want to be able to go in and not have to plan months in advance.
Well, because it's like a playground for us.
Right.
Especially
in our
Great
backyard.
Falls because it's so close.
Yeah.
It's like if you all of a sudden needed a reservation to go hike in the Little Belts, it'd be like,
you're like, but
wait,
this is my home right here. Yeah.
So I get that to an
understand
extent,
that
but it is a
frustration.
national treasure.
It is, and it's no longer as, the public information officer I spoke with, she's like, it's no longer this hidden, it's no longer a secret how great Glacier is, and that's why the system exists.
Right.
Yeah, because there's so many people.
Again, and we've said this number of times before, this is really designed so that you have a better experience when
Correct.
you go.
Yes, it's to limit the number of people in the park at a time so that you're not just sitting bumper to bumper the entire time. And also parking is a major issue. And this doesn't eliminate the problem. It's just trying to mediate it a little bit to where it's not you might have a chance at a parking spot versus just absolutely no chance.
The one thing I will say, I used the reservation system this past summer for my cousin. So it wasn't for me.
Okay.
But my cousin from Texas had come up with his son, who is also my cousin because that's the way families work.
Correct.
So I guess my
Second
cousins.
cousin? Yeah.
And they wanted to go see Glacier, but they are, regimented itinerary style.
Yeah.
So we were playing with it, and it was kind of smoky, and heat wasn't really an issue because they're from Texas. But so it was really kind of a play by ear, and we were they were planning to go on one specific day, couldn't get a reservation in, but the next day they could.
Okay.
And so I had tried for them, immediately got them a reservation, and I texted it to them using their information, and I'm like, hey, adjust your plans. You can now get into Glacier if you want to.
Yeah.
It's a $2 reservation.
Right.
So if they didn't use it,
no
I was
skin
still going to
off
be
your
able to
back.
put food on the table for our family.
Right. This wasn't a make or break situation.
Right.
So that's the good part about it.
Yeah.
It's $2. Yeah.
So it was easy to use once you were able to get in and get your stuff done. But
Yeah.
What can we what's in store for us in 2024?
So we can go through and break down a lot of things. There's a number of new things, but I'm going to lead with the good news for us here in Great Falls and for our visitors coming to Great Falls is that new this year, if you are going to go on Going to the Sun Road, which is the main artery, the
only way through the park,
if you will, through the park. If you're going in from the east side, you do not need a reservation this year.
At all?
At all. And that is huge.
That's
and so
big.
great for us, and even more of a reason for you to come stay here and go up the east side.
Yeah.
100%.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was so excited to read that.
Is that all the east entrances or just the St. Mary's going to the Sun entrance?
Is the St. Mary Going to the Sun entrance, as well as like the Two Medicine area you can get in. Mini Glacier still has a reservation system. So there are basically there's more than that. We're going to say 3 main areas, if you will, on the east side. Two Medicine, St. Mary, and Mini Glacier.
Correct.
St. Mary is the only one on the east side where you can access Going to the Sun Road.
Yes.
That one, no reservation required. No reservation for Two Medicine. You do need one for Mini Glacier.
That's epic.
Isn't it? It's
That's back
such a
to
huge
2020.
change. Yeah, this is
One.
basically like
Ish.
before 2019. 4 years. Yeah.
Well-
2020. Yeah, well they start
2020 they started, but all the entrances on the east side were closed in 2020
Okay.
because of COVID.
Yes.
2021, no reservation required on the east entrance.
Okay.
2022 and
Last year,
2023
yes.
reservations.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track. This is a changing
But
system.
this is epic.
This is so exciting. This was my biggest excitement out of all of this is because
the clouds parted and
Yes.
the angels sang.
this is such good news though. And this is yet another reason why, I mean, we've always told people the east side is the best side to
Right.
access the park
It is.
because you're not dealing with as much. And now you don't have to think about it ahead of time.
Pros and cons to this.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of good that can come out of it.
Yes.
One of the big things is there's so much hiking on the east side of
So much.
Glacier.
Correct.
So that opportunity to get
Mhm.
in there without any hassle to experience Glacier,
Mhm.
and you're going to find less people in general.
Right.
Just, when they talk about when the National Park Service
Yeah.
talks about kind of the data they look to analyze, they're looking at entrances. They're each entrance, each hour of each entrance, the parking, how it's being used at each entrance. So it's going to be amazing.
Mhm.
And the other thing that's really cool, because I'm not a morning person,
Yeah.
no more entrance before 6 a.m.
Well, I mean, that still exists. We'll get to that. But yeah, it doesn't matter now if you're going in from St. Mary.
on the east side.
Correct.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so good, Shannon.
Mm-hmm. That's my that's my good news for
like
you.
I'm looking at your face and I'm worried that might be the only good
Well,
news.
no, it just kind of depends on your perception here. So that's the good news in terms of you don't have to worry about planning for anything.
Okay.
Okay. There are 3 entrances where you will need a reservation.
Okay.
So we talked about Mini Glacier.
Yep.
Mini Glacier, those reservations don't start till July 1st.
Okay.
So Mini Glacier, July 1st to September 8th. Over on the west side of the park, 2 entrances where you need reservations. That's the west entrance for going to the Sun Road. I'm going to get to specifics there on what that looks like. And the North Fork, so up by
Okay.
Polebridge area, those 2 spots, May 24th through September 8th.
Okay.
So it's a little less, there's not as many different opening dates
Right.
this year, if you will, for
No, my-
these different spots.
Because in the past it's been staggered, and then this
Right.
place starts in June, then this place starts in July, and
Right.
then at this time you can. Nope.
Yep.
Simplifying it.
3 entrances. The ones on the west side start May 24th. Mini Glacier on the east doesn't start till July 1st for the
Okay.
reservations.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm still happy.
Okay, good. You can still, also, I think the construction's done over there on the west side, so there's not those weird hours over there this year either. with
That's
that.
good. Easier travel
Correct.
if you do get in.
When
you
get in, yeah.
Yep.
Anywhere you go, you can still get in before 6 a.m. or after 3 p.m.
Okay.
without a reservation.
Okay.
So that's still a thing. And as Jenna pointed out when I talked to her, she's the public information officer. She said, the summer in Montana, it's light till 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
So if you don't get in till after 3, it's not like you have an hour of daylight. You
Right.
have, you
It's
still
not
have,
winter.
right. It's not now. You still have a good amount of time to enjoy daylight and arguably beautiful time to enjoy kind of that summer glow there in the evening in the
Yeah.
park.
I am just going to sidetrack. The sunsets recently
Oh my gosh. They
have been epic.
gorgeous.
They're short-lived.
Yeah.
But last night I took so many photos at
Yeah.
3 different locations on my
Mhm.
way home because the colors just kept changing and the
Beautiful.
way it was highlighting. It was amazing. So,
And some sunrises too have
Oh.
been pretty epic.
yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten, and it's been beautiful to see some because we've had people sharing pictures of this together.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. Yeah.
The pinks, the oranges, the blues, the
Yeah.
purples, anyway.
Really gorgeous right now. And then would be very beautiful from the park perspective
Yep.
too. Yeah. Okay. So, we talked about before 6 a.m.
Yeah.
If you're going to go, say, so along going to the Sun Road, there's Logan Pass, which is the
Yep.
Continental Divide in there. It's the access point to a number of trails, like the Highline Trail, things like that. if you are
It's
planning,
kind of in the middle of the park,
Yeah,
middle of the road,
ish.
halfway-ish.
Yeah. It's the like largest spot where you're going to find
Parking lot.
bathroom, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Little
Gift
visitor
shops.
center things. Yeah. It's also going to be the busiest and where you would fight for parking
The most.
arguably the most. So that being said, Jenna was also saying, if you're planning to go there, you want to be in there before 6 a.m. anyway.
At Logan before 6 a.m.?
Yeah. So if you
Ooh.
want to park at Logan, like park and go hike for a while, you got to get in there early anyway. So just something to consider. Like we said, this is trying to ease congestion. It's trying to ease parking, but it's not perfect. It's not going to do it all. So to just ensure that plan for an early start.
Now, they still have buses, right? That'll
Yes.
take you places.
Yes. They do have buses. There's also a free shuttle system from APGAR, which is
Okay.
inside the west entrance.
There we go.
So, also new this year, talking about APGAR, what they've done is, so there's the west entrance, but they have what they're calling a filter station, which is where they would be checking for your vehicle reservation. This is not your park pass. This
Just
is your
your
vehicle reservation that we're
Yeah.
talking about. They've bumped that back. So you can go through the west entrance to APGAR Village, to part of the like access for Lake McDonald, APGAR Campground. You can get to all of that. And I think there was some confusion because she's saying that is new this year.
Yeah, because in the past, that would be inside
Correct.
the park of where you would
need
need
the
your
reservation.
reservation and your
Correct.
ticket.
Correct. So now the filter station, as they're calling it, where they're checking those vehicle reservations, is just past or right around the APGAR campground,
Oh.
meaning that you can go into the gift shops, to the restaurants. They're in the little like west entrance village area, if you will, that's called APGAR, without a vehicle reservation.
Interesting. You'll still need your park
Pass.
entrance pass.
Correct. But they're not going to check for the vehicle reservation till you really start on going to the sun past there. So that's new this year. So a couple things to keep in mind with that. One, if you've gone in to going to the Sun Road from the east side, where you don't need your reservation from St. Mary, you go across going to the Sun Road. If you're planning to go back across going to the Sun Road, meaning you're not exiting the west entrance and going on over to, Whitefish, Kalispell, whatever.
Yep.
Say you want to go over and back, make sure you don't pass that filter station. So say you can't go grab lunch in APGAR
Oh.
and then get back on that. You would need a vehicle reservation because you have passed that filter station. So plan ahead. Don't plan to go into West Glacier if you're coming from the east side under no reservation. If you leave, you can still get back over to the east side. You're just going to have to take
Go around
Highway
the
2
bottom.
on the edge of the park,
Yeah.
not going to the Sun Road. So just watch for that.
That's gonna trip up a lot of people.
Correct. Like, thankfully, there's still a beautiful way to get back. It's just not going to be going to the Sun
Well,
Road.
and if you're like my grandpa, he never wanted to take the same road twice anyway.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So
So
just be aware.
through and out.
Correct.
Don't go down and back.
Right, you
unless
can't-
you have your reservation.
Correct. You can't go hop in to get some Huckleberry ice cream or the gift shop or whatever in APGAR and expect to go back the way you came.
That's an important thing to know.
Correct. And I asked Jenna, she said, I was like, is there going to be like an obvious like turnaround or whatever? And she said they're working on that. So
A big
just
sign
be
that's like, "Ooh,
hey,
dude."
you're exiting your, yeah. Okay. The other component of that, let me find my notes here. There are now only two, because of this change here in the APGAR Village area, now there are only 2 campsites that are within the vehicle reservation area.
Oh.
So you want to go camp at APGAR campground or whatever, you then also have to get yourself a vehicle reservation because that campground is no longer automatically within the reservation zone. So in the past, they made this change because people last year were making reservations at campgrounds
And
to
then
get the reservation, but not actually camping.
camping.
the 2 campgrounds that are within the boundaries of the vehicle reservation system, meaning you reserve a spot to camp at it and you automatically get a vehicle reservation. There's just 2. That's Avalanche Campground and Sprague Creek Campground along Going to the Sun. So that's something new to keep in mind is when you're booking a campsite, pay attention to where it is, because don't expect to automatically get
A reservation.
a vehicle reservation if you're camping outside of those 2 campgrounds.
Okay.
Are you tracking with me?
I am.
Okay.
Now, it sounds confusing as heck.
Right.
I'll be the first to admit it.
Yes.
But having dealt with this for the years we have,
It
I'm
makes
loving
sense.
these changes
Yes.
because it does make a lot of sense.
Yes.
The big thing is if you've come to expect certain things,
Just
don't
that
expect
out the
those
window.
certain things anymore because of
Correct.
the changes. I like the way the changes are going because it is
makes more
really
sense.
focused on that congestion thing.
Correct.
Oh, I'm excited.
The name of the game is just to be vigilant when you're making your plans and
pay
really kind of look
attention.
at the fine print of where you're staying. So while we're talking about camping, let's also just talk about, say, lodging, things like that.
Okay.
So like in the past, if you say are staying at Lake McDonald Lodge or the Mini Glacier Hotel,
Yep.
maybe you got a boat tour, something like that, you do get in. So you don't have to, if you booked a hotel room at Mini Glacier, you're not going to then have to like hope that you get a vehicle reservation
Okay.
to get into where the hotel is.
So that's fairly consistent.
You just show like, hey, here's my reservation for the hotel. That
Let me
acts as your, yes.
Yeah.
But be aware where you're staying. Like, this is also where you need to be vigilant of, like, if you're staying, say, she gave me an example here. Like, if you're doing a boat tour on Two Medicine doesn't connect to Going to the Sun Road.
So that's
just,
not going to get you.
correct. So that's not going to get you a vehicle reservation to go in from the west side. You see what I mean? You just have to pay attention to where
Where in the park you're going.
where you're going.
Because not all things are created equal in Glacier National Park. That's
Correct.
just it.
And the good news is, and we might be able to utilize this summer too. I'll put it in the show notes. We'll have it. But they have a number you can call, a call center to answer questions about the vehicle
Holy
reservation
moly.
system. Yes. I don't need to say it here. I'll just put it in the show notes. But you can call this number to ask questions about the vehicle reservation system.
People, this is the best news
Yes.
we have ever heard in our lives.
Which is so helpful for us when we're trying to help you.
Yeah. Mostly when you come and talk to us, this is what you get.
Right.
And you're like, I'll just talk to someone in Glacier. Well, best of luck.
Yes.
We don't know who that is.
Right. So now
You have someone
Jen
to
is
talk
saying
to.
there's this number. You call, you press 1, you get to this call center.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And they can answer all your questions.
That's the goal.
Now,
Yes.
clarify this.
Okay.
You still can't get your reservation ticket from that number.
Nope.
You still have to do that
this
online.
is just online. The only place you can get your vehicle reservation, and again, this is not your park pass. Park
your
pass
vehicle
is totally
reservation.
different. This is your vehicle reservation. It is only available on recreation.gov. Jenna was saying some people think it's reservation.gov. No, recreation.gov.
.gov.
And it's highly encouraged. Go on there right now while you're listening. Set up a profile.
Yep.
Get on there, explore the site, set up your profile so that when
Gain
it comes
comfort level.
time, you're not trying to figure all of that out in your rush to get a reservation.
Now, with the vehicle reservation, in
Mm-hmm.
the past, we've had these weird rolling windows.
Yep.
Of this is when you can book for this time.
Yep.
What are our weird
Yeah.
rolling
So
window stuff?
Yep. Forget about last year's thing.
Okay.
Out the window, there's no
Forget I even talked
there's
about
no
it.
block. There is no blocks, and there's no 24-hour reservations.
Oh.
There are still those like two different options, but it's different now. So
Okay.
it's still, there's a rolling schedule and then what they're now calling next day
Okay.
as opposed to 24 hours. I'll explain that in a moment. Let's start with the rolling basis.
Okay.
Or did you have a question first?
Well, I was just going to say, like, January 10th, I decide I want to do a vacation in Glacier
Yeah.
for January No, for July 15th. And I need a vehicle reservation because I'm going to go in on the west side. Can I log in on January 10th and get my reservation for July 15th?
All you're going to be able to do on January 10th is create your profile on
Okay.
recreation.gov.
So give me the details on this.
Yes. So you can make a reservation 120 days in advance. This is where, so getting to this part, this is the part I don't like as much this year. So, okay. So this means, so we talked about reservations for the 2 west side entrances that we were talking about. So
Yeah.
North Fork and West entrance start on May 24th.
Right.
120 days prior to May 24th is January 25th. January 25th at 8 a.m., vehicle reservations for May 24th go on sale. January 26th at 8 a.m., vehicle reservations for May 25th go on sale.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So January 27th at 8 a.m., reservations for May 26th go on sale.
I'm such a positive person, and I always
Are
am
you?
searching for the silver lining.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they stop selling. So, like, even though January 26th, do I have 3 days or 2 days, whatever the math is on that,
No.
of options, or
So
only so many tickets are available?
correct. So
Okay.
another change this year too, well, let's say it last year, when you made a reservation, it was good for 3 days
Right.
for the most part. 1 day this year. Your reservation is good for 1 day. What they found is people were not using it on the second or third day. So
Because it's confusing.
correct.
Yeah.
So when you make a reservation, it is good for 1 day. So I asked her, this is something I talked with Jen about. So say you want to go to Glacier and spend 3 days in Glacier National Park within an area that requires a reservation.
Okay.
You are going to have to get online at 8 a.m. 120 days before each of those days to get your pass. So say you want to go in on July 6th, 7th, and 8th. You're going to have to go online March 8th, 9th, and 10th. Because it's open 120 days prior to the day you're planning to be there, and it's not a group batch situation. It's by the day.
Okay. So then with that, they only sell so many tickets.
Correct.
At that time.
Yes.
But you hinted about this next day thing.
Correct. So last year, you could book it. It was called a 24-hour reservation.
Yep.
This year, I do like this change. I think this part will be helpful. So say you're going to be more spontaneous. You live in Montana. You just don't plan 120 days out. You missed it, whatever. You can go on. So say, okay, we're recording. We'll pretend it's June.
Okay.
We're recording this at 1:30 in the afternoon. Say we decide, hey, we want to try to go hiking in the park tomorrow.
Okay.
We can get on at 7 p.m. tonight to see if we can get a reservation for tomorrow.
Oh.
So that is a change. Whereas before last year, we would have already had to get on at 8 o'clock this morning.
Right.
So I like this change because it gives people, say, who come into our office who aren't aware of the reservation system.
Right.
They still have a chance at getting something for the next day because it's at 7 p.m.
The night
before
that is
you
helpful.
want to go. I like that change. That one's less confusing to me.
Yeah. Oh, do you know how many tickets are no.
I do not. I don't think they would tell me.
Well, and I don't think they've ever said there's there's 600 tickets available this
Right.
day. They've never said that, but
Right.
I'll just keep asking.
And I don't know if there are days where you can pretend to log on at 7 p.m., but they're all already gone from the 120 day. Like, I imagine they're going to leave a chunk available for next day, but I don't know how many that is. So, but those are your two options.
Can I just commend the people who are trying to make this work?
Right.
Because I'm sure they're not sitting there thinking, well, this is simple for us. Other people just have issues. Like, this is a tough egg to crack.
Correct.
So,
and it can't just be a blanket thing. Like, they're trying to make it more accessible. Yeah. But it's a lot.
Kudos, people.
Yeah. Okay.
Clearly, though, let me just reinforce this. No reservations needed at the St. Mary entry.
That's fantastic.
So go in the east side, come out West Glacier, take Highway 2 back to Great Falls.
That's correct.
I mean,
yep.
Life is perfect in my world.
And then you can hit, along Highway 2 there, going along the southern edge of the park, you can hit the Goat Lick on the way back. That's a fun spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's pretty.
It's really that's a great loop to go, is go in the east side and then come back along Highway 2.
And we've got a great glacier-like hikes available in our area.
We sure do.
Blog coming out soon, written by yours truly.
That's right. In partnership with
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wow.
Lots of info. So we've been talking a lot about going to the Sun Road.
Yeah.
We've talked about how on the west side entrance you access going to the Sun Road and how those reservations start on May 24th. Here's the thing. Don't show up May 24th unless it continues like the year we've been having and expect to drive across going to the Sun Road. So it's
we're assuming we're going to get snow in the mountains.
Right.
Tons of snow in the mountains.
We better desperately get some because otherwise the fire season's going to be fun.
You're not going to get to Glacier then.
Correct. So going to the Sun Road gets a lot of snow. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it's, way, way higher than multiple people stand.
Closer you get to Logan Pass, more snow.
Yes. And it, they can't take in, they're not flying over it with helicopters blowing heat on it. Like they're dependent on Mother Nature to melt that and then some fabulous snow drivers to move it.
Yeah. Some really, I'm going to say it, ballsy humans.
Very brave.
Get in a piece of equipment and start moving the snow out of the way.
This is a narrow, windy road.
Yeah, it's a mountain road where one side is mountain and the other side is nothing.
It's a cliff. There's not much wiggle room.
Those are your options.
Correct. That being said, this is something I learned and should reassure our visitors as well. When it's drivable, there are guardrails that go up. So I learned that they are temporary I just didn't even think about this, but they're temporary guardrails. So they're not up there when the snowplows are moving around because they would just knock them
Tear
down.
them apart.
Yeah. So they put in guardrails every year, temporary, where avalanche runs tend to occur. There are 42 avalanche areas on going to the Sun. That being said, that's not how many guardrails there are, but just these are the areas. There's a lot of potential areas. Yeah. Any guesses how many guardrails go up?
10.
400. So no.
Well, I knew it was going to be one or the other, like super low or super high.
Picked the wrong one. 50-50 shot.
I'm a loser.
Which you should be glad there's that many guardrails because that
there's
helps
a lot.
protect you from the cliffs.
But they go in every season.
Yeah,
huh? That's unique.
In and out. Yeah. So not only are they moving the snow, but then they're also having to then go in and make sure these guardrails are in place.
So, depending on what winter, if it shows up,
yes,
and in what force it shows up in the mountains, May 24th. You may not get in very far.
I don't think it has ever been fully open by May 24th. And
I'm not super old and my memory's not real great. But in my recollection, it's never happened.
So the road crews, Jenna said they start April 1st trying to clear the roads, like the lower elevation roads.
Okay.
And then they work their way up a week, however many weeks later, to try to start on going to the Sun. She did say that last year was like the fourth earliest opening in history because it was like June 9th
Yeah,
last
it
year,
was
which
kinda
was so early. She said the year before, I think it was like July 10th or 13th. It was late the year before. So
Epic
we
winter
always say
season.
kind of plan around the 1st of July-ish.
Yeah.
Like for it to be fully open. You can still get on parts of it pending a place where
Right.
traffic can turn around. But all of this to say, if you book a reservation for June 1st on the west entrance, unless something real historic happens, don't expect to fully drive going to the Sun Road.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to go out, do Highway 2 over to the east, and then go up as far as you can on the east side.
Yes.
That's your options.
Yeah.
That's just the way the world works.
Correct. So
It's
just something to be aware, because that's also something I've noticed when people come in. They're like,
they're pretty
oh, we can't
shocked.
drive that?
And mostly because there's snow up there now.
Right.
You'd be hard pressed to think there's snow in the mountains if you were in Great Falls.
Correct.
I haven't worn a coat yet.
Yeah.
The month of December.
Jason always makes fun of me because today I wore a coat, but in general, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I have to acclimate myself. So when it's actually really cold, then I won't be which is dumb. I should just wear a coat, but
I'm with
Then
whatever you want to think,
Yeah.
but
point is, it's been very mild.
it has been which is unfortunate because that also meant Showdown just opened December 23rd.
Yeah.
Which really
thankfully
late.
it snowed on December 23rd
Right.
up there, but
It's still not
very late for
premium
them.
conditions for them, and
No.
it's frustrating.
and I really hope and wish they could stay open later too,
Right.
because I really think we're going to have that's good snow hopefully later now. That's a whole other thing, but
It may still be snowing in June now,
right.
which has happened.
Which it doesn't sound ideal, but we desperately need
moisture.
it, and we don't want to deal with smoke all summer.
Right.
So, yes. Okay.
Oh,
I'm going to review my piles of notes here.
okay.
What questions do you have, or do you need clarification on?
Since I've been around this so often, it all seems to make sense to me.
This one makes more sense to me than it did last year, and I don't know if it's just because I'm more familiar with having to dive
with
into this now, but I also feel like there's less to remember this time.
Well, last year it was like you had to be on these days and this time and
it was
this
the rolling
entrance
system.
and then this
Yeah.
side had this.
Yep.
Like there were so many different dates and times and
Yeah.
what you can and cannot do that the simplification of this system
It does seem more simple, even though it's not. Yeah.
I think is amazing. I love the changes to the west entrance. I love the fact that there's no reservation at St. Mary or Badger 2 Medicine now, which is great.
I was so pleasantly surprised with that. Yeah.
Well, and just great hiking. And if you need suggestions on what to hike in that area, you can call us. But we also have this great blog by Eric Heidel on our website. I think it might still be there.
We got
it
a new
probably
website.
is.
We should
Yeah,
check.
it is a nice new website. And if you can't, again, you can still get in before 6. You
Yep.
can still go in after 3.
Yes.
No matter where you are.
Correct.
And it is recommended if you're going to go to Logan Pass and hike out of there that you should be there before 6 anyway,
Right.
which means you better be at the park entrance at least by 4:35. Not 4:35, but 4:30
Very
or
specific.
5-ish.
Right. To make it through
4:32.
the line and get up. Right. Exactly 4:32. That's what Rebecca's recommending.
Because, I mean, that's beyond going to the Sun Road.
Mm-hmm.
The hardy glacier lovers, the people who are just in love with that national park, is because of the hiking.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because you just drive through a narrow road.
Right. I mean,
I
that's
can send you
an
on a lot of those
experience
roads,
too,
but
yeah.
People who are going back time and time again to Glacier, it's because they're doing those hikes.
Yeah. Or you're getting an experience of some kind as well, like the horseback riding trips or the
Right.
guided hikes or getting to stay at a chalet or something like that.
The shuttle system is really advantageous to use.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that gives you the opportunity to not have to worry about parking.
Yes.
You can just,
Use the shuttle.
I mean, you still
Yes.
have to park because you've got to get.
Right. But you're not
to the
trying to
area.
fight along the road itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the experience is done and you drive that back down. So really,
Yeah.
shuttle.
Yeah.
And if you want to just drive through,
Mm-hmm.
red buses, man.
Yeah.
My husband was
Jammers.
telling me that he used to do maintenance on the jammers.
Really?
Back in the day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we were down at Bison and Beargrass, the new
Little
store
boutique,
with
yeah.
John and Alicia. And down there they had a Red Jammer coffee mug that he bought.
So he could remember his
Yeah.
maintenance days.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So folks, be glad that was a long time ago because he is a good mechanic, but
But you wouldn't trust him with that? Is that what you're
at
saying?
18, I wouldn't
Oh.
have trusted him.
Yeah, that's fair.
He had other
Good
things
point.
on his mind.
Yeah. Good point. Just talking about the east side too. The lodge, the historic lodge
St.
there.
Mary's Lodge.
Oh my gosh. It's
Yeah.
just stunning.
Well, and then here's the other thing.
Well, no, not St. Mary's, the one
East Glacier?
East Glacier Lodge. Yeah.
I was just going to say, we don't give that area enough love because
stunning.
no reservation required
Yep.
into that area.
Right.
A vehicle
That's just off
reservation.
the highway too. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in East Glacier. You take a right, you're in Glacier National Park.
And they're off of that road too. There's some really gorgeous hiking.
Yeah.
And if you're a golfer, I don't know if you can get, it's just a 9-hole course, I believe, but I don't know if you can get a more scenic golf course than in East Glacier. Like, I remember it's been a long time since I've golfed there, but there was like bear scat on the golf course,
Oh,
right? So
perfect.
it's like, but you're just staring at gorgeous mountains there as you're, and it's not crowded. I mean,
No.
it's, bring your clubs. It's seriously worth it.
It's just unexpected that it's even there.
Yeah.
You can't
I
see
guess
it from the road.
I guess I should check on its current status, but it was just stunning.
Well, again, folks, we're not experts, so some of our information might be dated.
Yeah, it's been a while
And
since
this
I've golfed there.
particular part about East Glacier Lodge might be incorrect. So
Right.
everything else has
The
been correct.
fact that this lodge is historic and gorgeous and beautiful and has ghost stories and all of that is not
it's a
lie.
beautiful location, and I've had meals at the restaurant next to the lodge. I don't
Yeah.
even know what that place is called anymore.
I
So
don't know
there
either.
you go.
There's also right outside the park, but in East Glacier, like the little town East Glacier, there's a pretty yummy Mexican restaurant there. I am forgetting the name of it now, but
Serrano's?
yes, there it is. Are they still there? It's been a couple years for that.
Maybe
too.
we should wrap up this episode. We were doing so
Anyway,
good.
the point is East
St.
Glacier. Don't
Mary's.
sleep on east side of the park.
Yeah, don't. There's options there.
Yes.
Mainly St. Mary's, which all of that part of the beginning of this podcast episode was correct.
Everything has been all of the thoughts about this are true. It's just if it's currently true.
So thank you for doing all the research because
Yeah.
now, folks, you can listen to this podcast over and over and over again as you prepare for your 2024 Glacier National Park experience.
Yes.
But most importantly, fly into Great Falls,
Yep. It's the best.
drive up to St. Mary's,
Mm-hmm.
do your thing.
That's the moral of the story is that
It
once
really
again
is.
we are proving to be the best place to access
East
the park.
side's the best side.
Yes. I'm not sure that's how the slogan actually goes, but yep.
We should make our own stickers and t-shirts.
We should.
East side is the best
East side,
side.
best side.
And if you
doesn't rhyme like the
fly
other
into
one, but
Great
yeah.
Falls and then stay in Great Falls, you can get one of those free East Side is the Best Side stickers if you stop by.
There you go. And if we don't have them made yet, find something else for you.
Yep. We'll give you something.
That's right. Speaking of giving you something, we will also be giving you more resources about Glacier. I did, if you just can't get enough of my voice, you can hear me talking with Jenna in 20-minute or so interview that I did with her that will be available after the start of the new year on our YouTube page. So you can hear it from her words
as well.
To answer that, if you stop in our office, we'll have a little one-sheet explainer ready to go for you as well for the new season.
And you get a visual component with that video as well.
Correct. We'll have the maps. So if you're like, where are these places they're talking about?
Here they are. You'll
Yep.
see them.
Absolutely.
Again, well done.
Thank you.
I would have not taken the time or had the patience to learn
I feel like
everything.
This went last year when I did this. I feel like you were disappointed because you had more questions that I didn't know the answers to at that time.
Well, you were prepared this year.
Yeah, I think it's less confusing too.
Well, there's that. Folks, you need help planning your trip to Great Falls. You need your help planning your trip to Glacier National Park. We're your people.
Mm-hmm.
I know the title of our podcast doesn't lend itself to that, but we are your people.
Or Carol will be your person. She knows.
Always check out our website, visit greatfallsmontana.org. You can call our office, 406-761-4436. Email us information at visitgreatfalls.org. Follow us on our socials. And that's the best thing because Shannon does remind you today's the day to start booking for this day.
I'm not going to do that every day this summer, though, but I will give you a heads up.
You know, we should launch a Twitter
out.
or X account and then just every day. Today's the day you
Today's
can
the day to
book
book for this. Jenna has she had a specific little calendar for her to figure that out, which I don't blame her because 120 days starts getting wonky when not every day has or every month has 30 days.
Well, and then do you count the day of? That's always my challenge with counting your days.
Based on what she told. Well, if the reservations open on May 24th, and she said 120 days prior is January 25th, so whatever that works out.
Yeah, there you go, people. Hey, it's a new year, maybe. I don't know when this comes out.
Not yet.
No, never
We're
mind.
wrapping up 2023. It's coming out this Friday.
Never mind what I was going to say. That's it for our podcast.
You can still say it.
Nope. It'll make more sense next episode.
Okay.
So, folks, until we see your bright, smiling, happy, healthy, beautiful faces here in our fine, fine city of Great Falls, Montana, we hope you're creating amazing memories with your friends and family wherever you might be. See you soon.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.